Peace and power, everybody. Welcome back. We are in the building.
Yes, in the building.
Chapter 18, the relationship underworld. That's where we are today. And we're just gonna get into it. This is a long chapter. We just wanna
Yeah.
put it out there. But y'all know in the long chapters be the long lessons, so
Yeah.
it's worth it. I am Nina with Styles by Nina.
And I'm
And
Lisa.
this
Apples
is
forever cents.
boom. We were ready today. Okay, so don't forget to go like, comment, share, subscribe, share this with your friends,
That's
and
right.
follow us on our other social media platforms. The link is look on point this way. I don't know what link is. The
In the
link
bio.
is I'm like I don't know what link is for real. The link is on the home page. You can check the community page and all that good stuff. Go over to Katie's Alchemy and subscribe as well. Because after we get done with this book, I got to get back into doing interviews. I'm gonna try to re-interview. And I'm trying to think of her rap name. I know her real name, but I don't want to say it on here. I'm gonna re-interview the artist that I interviewed previous. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to get a date for an interview with her, and also we're gonna get into some more forex interviews. Me and Lisa are gonna start back working together, talking about investing. Um, we don't know when, where, or how, but we got to get back to it because that's our niche. And
Yeah.
also, I might do another interview with the forex trade her. She gave us some good pointers on trading. Everything she taught in that video, it has made for a successful trade year for me. And then what's the girl name that was in our class?
Truist.
Who?
Truist.
Truist. Thank you, Lisa. Y'all try to get another interview with Truist, the artist. She is now attending college. I want to follow the journey. And you're a real fan of music. You know when this person dropped their first album, they mixtape, what they got going on. We just want to keep touching bases and build community through relationships. And that's major. We don't just want to do interviews and then never check back in with the people. That's whack.
Right. Right.
And so if somebody else I did want to interview, it's an artist on Instagram. He raps um truth rap. I haven't had the courage to reach out yet, but I am because I love every video. And just I want to know how you got into this,
Mm-hmm.
where you're from and all that good stuff. So we need some masculine energy in the interviews as well. And we just gonna get it done. We've been working, so we're gonna get it done. We want to focus
Right.
a little more on fun. I feel like we have been taught this work hard narrative, right? And so we take the fun out of it. And it's like I love
Mhm.
music. Like if you see me out or in the car, I'm having karaoke in the car every time I'm in there.
Yeah, girl, I love music too. For
So
real.
we want to focus on the things that make us laugh, smile. I love music, like all types, and so want to just keep bringing content of that matter on that platform, and also get some interviews with people in the conscious community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to steer down a different eating lifestyle, and so after today, I will start my fasting journey again. I'm gonna start doing the rolling 72s because I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success with it. And for me, when I'm fasting, it's like that third day that's the hardest because it's like the hump day. But that first and second day, I don't have no issues. So I'm gonna focus on just 2 days, no eating, 1 day eating. 2 days no eating and see how long I can do the rolling 72s. But the stories, y'all go over to a healthy alternative. Y'all know I'm gonna shout out a couple of channels. And don't forget to subscribe to Lisa's channel here. Lisa, what's your channel on here? Apple's 12%?
Um, girl, I don't know. Lisa Mack.
Okay. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Pay
Yes,
attention
Lisa
to it.
Mack. Yeah.
And the links is in the description box. I just don't know how far back I put it in now. We really ain't been keeping up with this stuff. We just been recording and
Yeah.
going on. And so if no information's there, forgive us, okay? It's just after chapter 10, we probably checked out then. So but yeah, go over to a healthy alternative. This is a fasting channel. And he does interviews about people in their fasting journeys, and
Mm.
people are curing all types of things by just water fasting. People are changing their lives. And so I'm gonna give it another go. I had started fasting in when do we Virgo season,
Yeah.
and that's cool. But I have more success when I fast in January. Truth be told, my longest fast have lasted because it's in January. My body doesn't require as much food. Well, I guess maybe it's just the weather, the cold. You don't drink a lot, you don't eat a lot. It's okay. But I'm about to get that back started just because it's been coming up in every reading, of course. But I just want to focus a little bit more on myself if I'm coming out of the shadows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so
That's self-care. That's
yeah, yeah,
important. Yeah. That's what I said I was going to do. Do a lot more self-care.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You only get one you,
That's right.
and if you
You got
don't
to
do
come
it,
correct. You got to come correct. It's time to come correct.
yeah, if you don't do it, it'll never get done. Especially in regards to you. That's you can't put that responsibility on nobody else. And so I'm looking. It's time. We're about to level up on y'all ass. Excuse me. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. It's our time. We claiming our season.
We claiming it.
We claiming it. It
Yep.
ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. We've been working solely on getting our personal, business, spiritual, mental, all that
Hmm.
together so that we can thrive. And y'all go check out Lisa's video. She just dropped a video speaking on this. How sometimes you have to pull back, and step away from it all just for mental health.
Hmm.
Because when our minds are not meant to be stimulated by phones and computers like all the time.
Yeah.
That is really not healthy. And then we're comparing ourselves to others because we're so saturated with it. And so none of that is healthy. Everything's at your own pace. And anybody that want to participate, of course, feel free, reach out, let me know. I'm supposed to be starting. I ain't even gonna put no date on it. It'll be this week though. Right, child. Cause I'll be still eating black eyed peas tomorrow. But when
Right.
these black eyed peas gone, that's when we gonna get it popping. So
It's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
Don't forget again, subscribe, like, share, and comment. If you don't see comments, it's because I have to approve them because I had a lot of spam in my comments. So I'm gonna go over there and approve them all at one time. No worries. So we're gonna get into chapter 18. No, no, no. Pull it back. Lisa, plug your stuff, girl.
All right. I'm just gonna do this quick. My name is Lisa Apples Forever Scents. I am a creator. I create candles. They are specially made to order. So if you are interested, please hit me up. Send me a DM. I'll glad to work with anyone when it comes down to candles. And not only candles, also, if you um, are trying to heal yourself, we are always here to listen. A lot of times you don't have to get a response back um, to know that you're healing. Just know that somebody is listening. So we are putting this book out to especially the men, because the men do need a lot of healing. So definitely come listen to us. Females, you also need to know what's going on with the male. So this is another reason why we are reading this, so you can start to learn the male. So yeah, that's me. I'm on Instagram, Lisa, or Apples Forever Scents.
Oh, and since you said that, that just reminded me. I wanted to say that last week. I'm finna fuss. I find it very odd that no males have been consistent in the showing up for the book. Now, if you getting it after we finish, that's fine and well. But it's like one of those things. The last person that came through was Brother Uno, of course. And he hasn't been back because we were reading the male book. Now, when we were reading the female book, I let them have open field. Say what you want to say. We were just taking it in. You get what I'm saying? But then when we get in the male book, the masculine, talking about men, and then you come over and you're trying to deflect it back to women whenever it is equal ownership of cause and effect, period. And so that's I say it all the time, like we're tired. We're tired of being blamed for everything. And then when it comes to us reflecting to you all, this is a male that wrote the book. But when it's a female reading the book and focusing on the masculine energy, it's like if you can't come and say, oh, well, yeah, it still go back to the female. No, that's not what this is saying. This is saying it starts at the male, pouring into the female. And so it's just odd, very odd, that it's been very quiet as it's been kept, because no males are showing up consistently to participate. We had full participation with the female book, but now we get to the male book and some of this blame is being shifted. Now it's crickets and the absence is what we're seeing. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's like when you start talking about male responsibility in relationships, it's easier to blame the females. This is saying that your chakras and stuff ain't all the way activated, right? And that you're showing up as a counterfeit personality, and that has nothing to do with no female. That has everything to do with self. Just like when we was reading a female book, we went self. We was taking it all in. We went like, oh, well, it's because the men do this, and no, we went on that. Right. And so it's very odd, and I'll say the abundant sister had already predicted that it would be little or none participation in the male version. Now, me being an optimist, I was just like, nah, we're gonna get some participation. But y'all proving us wrong. You proved me wrong. It's total silence and absence. And it just goes to show this is being reflected in households across the world. The silence and absence, because you're not all the way activated in these four elements: that earth, that fire, that water. All that has, the healer still has to show up. And what I saw in the conscious community, I wouldn't like it either, because it's like, okay, brothers talking about all this healing and they going vegan. Why isn't if that's important, why isn't the dynamic of the relationships changing? It's not.
So you know what? A lot of it is these men don't want to own up to. They don't want to be accountable. Like when we read the female, when we heard something, we owned up to it. We were able to say, I own up to that. But when it comes down to the male is not so easy to own up to something that they did wrong. Right. You don't want to take accountability for it.
And it's very disgusting. And I'm gonna say it. I see y'all ain't went absent. You're still on social media, y'all posting, doing everything else, not supporting your own healing though is the disgusting part. Right. Because just like we read that feminine version, you have to read this to understand self. We read the other version to understand self. Right. And it's just like, what are y'all reading? I brought this point up. It's like the men ain't even reading books no more. Right. I don't like that. I'm a thinker. If you're not a reader, it's unattractive to me. And so what are you reading? Y'all posting books. But what have you last read? And I'm talking about the whole book. And that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with relationships. You like to put your hands in there and put the comments in the post, but there's no accountability. So for me, it's just like seeing like the whole country community. It's not conscious at this point, and there's no accountability. It's no accountability. It's no room for account, because when you try to hold somebody accountable, they got a problem with you too. Keeping it real.
True. That's right.
And so I find it very odd that there's no males coming in asking to be on the platform to speak their piece
Yep.
about the masculine version of the book. Where y'all at?
Yep.
Where
Come
y'all
on
at?
in. Come through. Come through.
We almost done. It's chapter 17. We on chapter 18. And then next week gonna be the last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't seen y'all since chapter 1, 2, and 3. Where you at?
Yeah.
And ladies, beware. These are the people we going out here getting into relationships with. They don't want to heal. And I'm not trying to be funny. This ain't got no reflection of my own personal. I'm looking at it. You don't want to heal. Y'all more into being popular. I see these men out here and y'all on their dicks, excuse me, jocking them, talking about how conscious they is. Where are the women? I'm gonna say that again. Y'all don't like to hear the truth. Where are the women?
Yep.
I don't see them. I don't. Where are their wives? They say they love black women, but you don't see them with them. They love melanated women. You don't see not one.
Mm-hmm.
It's suspect behavior. And I don't care who like it. I said this when we was in astrology class and everybody was baffled. It's true. Y'all get on these things and want to follow these people, they leading y'all into a hole. Truth be told, you never see a man with a woman. He like me. I'm old school. That's been the rule. You never seen him with a woman. 9 times I've seen he like me. And these be closeted brothers. And I'm not saying, I'm a sage. Do your thing. Whatever you like, there's no judgment there. But when you out here speaking and preaching it and you not actually doing it, that's why I got a problem with it. Y'all talking about healing and the consciousness and everybody deep. Where's the accountability, brothers? What accountability? Y'all out here handsome. Y'all wearing the stars and the moon on your head. You got your crystals. Y'all posting your herbs. Where is the accountability, brothers? Where's it at?
That's right.
You're into looking deep. And I'm going to say it, and I hope you feel guilty. If you didn't participate all the way through, like you did with the other book, you know I don't care. Love you, brother Uno. You know I'm going to say it, though. It's not cool. Because just like you had a lot to say about the females, we needed to hear what you had to say about the males.
Right.
We're not males. We needed a masculine point of view, and nobody stepped up. But you're walking around in your household saying you want to leave your house. And that's all I'm going to say. Y'all know I get the preach. That's it. I'm just saying. Where were y'all at? We on chapter 20. We ain't heard from. Right. We finna be done with the book, and we had one male to come in here and share. Well, we had one and share the male perspective. How you feel about what's being said in this book.
But be consistent with it, though.
Yeah. Because there was different chapters. He even covered last week. We was talking about the tantra.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been nice to hear from a masculine point of view. We don't know what it feels like to be a woman, so we can't tell you. So he explained all this stuff, and now y'all quiet. I'm really disgusted. And if this is what the dating world is looking like, getting back out there, I might well sign up for online too. I'm finna screen y'all from the phone, because if you don't read and you ain't about no accountability, I don't want you in my vicinity. Okay. So yeah.
It's deep.
Okay, sorry, Lisa.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But because you're not live, that doesn't mean that you can't come on and comment on the videos. They are on Nina's platform as well as mine. So definitely, drop us a comment. Send this to your friends, your brothers, your sisters, whomever. But just let these videos reach the community so we can heal. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We on chapter 18, the relationship underworld. The enigma. In the opinion of the author, experience is more important in life than evolution. When you are writing a book, the amateur spends most of his time deciding what to put in his book. The master spends most of his time deciding what not to put in the book. Thus, we are faced with a double enigma. Should we get the most from life by spending time evolving? Or should we pack as much happy experience into our life as is humanly possible? The human mission has been stated before is to serve as a vehicle through which God can experience his, her, its creation. That is why we are made as prototypes of the Creator. The tree of life and the deities is how this is manifest. In a way, we are God in a miniature, raw, and unrefined version. We are like small micro droplets of water having an experience of the ocean. We no longer remember the ocean mind that we came from, and the ocean mind, as its total self, is unable to experience itself. For the whole ocean, one whale is insignificant. But to a tiny water creature, the whale is a giant monster that determines the course of its life. So it is that we, as billions of humans, each living life from our own unique perspective, can allow God to experience creation in a way the big God never could. He lives through us. The first enigma is for the quality of experience to be high, so we must get the highest value from what we do with our time. If you keep making mistakes, you will spend a lot of time unhappy, in pain, sick, sad, alone, and poor. And of course, you are wasting valuable time. As a result, you end up spending a lot of time correcting or paying for mistakes and very little quality time enjoying the present. So to maximize your experience as a human, some level of evolution is required. Also, a man's level of evolution determines how much quality he can extract from a given set of experiences. Two men tasting the same meal will get different levels of satisfaction based on the refinement of their appetites, taste, and ability to savor based on their evolution or lack thereof. A man who experiences ESR can have 20 orgasms in 1 hour, while the less evolved man has sex for 15 minutes and cannot experience more than one. His low level of evolution prevents him from a more intense and higher quality experience. Other men get into a zone playing basketball and experience a high that other players miss. Some men pack more high quality experience in an hour than other men experience in a week. It is about the value of time and the quality of experience. How to maximize your time and experience is what this book is all about. In fact, we suggest you spend the minimum time you can evolving and the maximum time as you can experiencing good experiences. This is how you best employ the wisdom in the house of the man. We use it to get the most out of life by getting the greatest possible time value. To some extent, we reap benefits by simply avoiding mistakes. In other words, we derive the benefits by approaching the tasks and events in life with a better plan and greater foreknowledge. And finally, as we reap greater benefits because our masculine energy is more advanced now and more complete, we extract more joy, pleasure, and satisfaction from our experience than a less evolved man could. This brings us to the second great enigma in male life. When the fundamental social model upon which community life has been based in the past is found to be flawed, it presents a unique dilemma. First of all, it is extremely difficult for the people who have become the problem to realize that they are the main obstruction to their own salvation. Here I am specifically referring to the scarcity model. You would do well to abandon the scarcity model. It kills your time value. It is a distraction offering short-term gains only to destroy the value of your time and your ability to reap the most intense passions and satisfactions from life. You don't know what you don't know. And it is so seductive to just accept what is and follow the herd. We are tempted to just accept the status quo and believe the facts that the media puts in front of us. The logic is clear, but we are tempted to reject it because the entire society is out of alignment with nature, and we want to fit in to that society as dysfunctional as it is. But consider this. Unfortunately, if a people are out of alignment with the natural plan that nature has crafted for them, then the men and women of that society will be out of harmony with each other. Many people today have forgotten that they are extensions of God. God is in them. And because they no longer identify with the God in them, they refuse to acknowledge the God that resides in others, especially members of the opposite sex. In the darkness of the tomb of the flesh, so many men now see themselves as a horse and have forgotten that they are in reality the rider of the horse. They have been riding the horse of the flesh so long that they believe the horse and the rider are one, but they are not. You can get off the horse if you choose to. Here we see how the wisdom of the house of the man can serve us. It can serve as a template, a measuring rod, a filter through which we can examine the old beliefs of the generation before us to see if those beliefs really hold true value for us. You must understand who to listen to, why you listen to them. Blind faith is just that, blind. You have the keys now. You know the secret of secrets now. You are no longer blind. There is a natural blueprint for life. Follow it. The remainder of this chapter is devoted to applying the doctrines of the house of the man to some of the more common issues the modern man is likely to face. We believe you will enjoy these discussions, and my hope is that you will find them as helpful in increasing your overall satisfaction in your life as we have in ours. There is one other important factor in this dynamic of the alpha male and the union of men. It is the woman. The women are the X factor. The role of the women may be small in all of this, but then again, maybe not so small. She can support the march toward progress of the union of men. And on the other hand, she may act to sabotage the whole thing depending on where she is in her development. There are some interesting dynamics, and your knowledge of these dynamics and your ability to navigate the world women may make or break as a man. Families need a strong male figure at the head. A town needs a strong mayor. A nation needs a strong leader. A family needs a strong man. He enforces the laws, sets the standards, and makes rules mean something. The force of his personality makes the children want to live up to a higher standard. His statue not only gives him the ability to validate others, but it also gives him the ability to ascend to this place, to obtain the standing of a true head of household. It is crucial that the male must be recognized as such by the woman, and this is not easy. Women are by nature yin in aspect. If the society is out of alignment with nature, they will tend to be discord between the yang male element and the yin female element. In a natural society, they will work together. But there are a few natural societies left, and the imbalance in most societies results in women tending to undermine the authority and purpose of men. In matriarchal, okay,
Matriarchal. Matriarchal. What is it? Matriarchal.
matriarchal. I'm adding other syllables. In matriarchal, leaning cultures, this can become extreme. In patriarchal, in patriarchal, in patriarchal leaning cultures, the interference of women in the affairs of men leads to a brutal suppression of women in general. Over time, women are reduced to a subculture, denied equal status with men in almost all aspects of the social order to prevent them from interfering with the affairs of men. Religions tends to follow the culture that spawned them. If the culture was patriarchal, the religion tends to suppress females. If the culture was matriarchal in leaning, the religion tends to suppress men. All major religions today are patriarchal, male leaning. And I agree with that. They are pretty much male leaning. From what I see today, they are. But before I continue, is there anything that you wanted that stood out to you thus far?
No, I'm still tripping off you and patriarchal and matriarchal.
I had to laugh at that because I tore them words up.
um, it is an enigma. I like that he touched on time. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
that's the only real resource out here. And if you waste a lot of it, that's something you will never get back.
Right.
I'm learning that over everything, yeah, that's the most important. And they
Mm-hmm.
touch on it in the movie Jupiter's Ascension. Everybody's just thinking this movie just so deep, 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 deep. And the key sentence he said is the most precious commodity on earth is time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said when you first started, the for the quality of experience here to be high, so we get the highest value from what we do with our time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
stop messing off your time. And I can't believe I've never heard of ESR number one, but when he said 20 orgasms in an hour, I'm
That's
like, what?
that's a lot.
And then he said the other man, the one that's not evolved, he had sex for 15 minutes. And he
Mm-hmm.
can't experience more than
Right.
one.
Yep.
That's deep.
Yeah. And then I like the fact that he did say that families need a strong male figure at the head. And a lot of men today, um, for them, is the opposite. You know, the female is the leader, and the male is just pretty much, you know, there, or giving the female money to pay the bills, but not being a leader. It's still the female that's the leader. So I think our men need to understand, um, what that means to be that male in that home and to be a leader. And a lot of them don't.
And at this point, we are tired. Men think that this is just a physical tired.
Mm-hmm.
No, we have been leading households for generation on generation. It has literally broke down the mitochondria in the cell
Mm-hmm.
to the point it is not even renewing itself. That's how generational it is. And that's the life of the cell, the mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and you say you tired, and we speak on the things that we want, which is mostly reciprocity, and it's like, oh, y'all black women asking for too much. And I'm saying black because that's what y'all be saying. Y'all know I hit you with the melanated, but it's like now we're being victimized for knowing specifically what it is that we want, and now that's asking for too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just thinking like it never ends. We're literally tired. We've led for generations. We're tired of leading. And I don't know if it's coming or uncoming. I just could speak for me, but I don't know no females that want to be leading they man.
Yeah.
It sounds good at first. Ain't nothing wrong with adding to him. That's gonna come naturally. That's the yin and the yang, but leading as heavy because we also still having to be the nurturer. We
Yep.
have to raise the kids. We having to take care of everybody. We are tired. I'm literally tired. And so and then to find out I'm missing out on these 20 organs, you ain't even giving us the energy to keep up with it all. Like you said, you can't even perform past them 15 minutes.
Right.
Honey, we tired.
Yeah, and you know what? I think things will not change unless people with the women start speaking out and
Yeah.
the men start healing and understanding what that male figure is in the home. So ladies, you got to have that conversation with your men. Men, you got to listen to your ladies. You got to be that male figure, and we got to correct this because it needs to be corrected.
And stop feeling like every time a female is speaking on a male, it's an attack. We love y'all.
Right.
Everything is not an attack. Sometimes somebody has to tell you what they're observing, just like in science. You observing that thing. And it's just like if we're saying anything, it's being dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Being dismissed.
Yep. That communication is powerful, so you gotta be able to communicate. All right. Okay. One of the prime challenges today for a man seeking to develop his masculine energy is to gain standing with the female gender. This can be a maddening and confusing undertaking, to say the least. Women tend to confuse their validation and confirmation of an adult man with their attraction and experience with men in the past. A group of superior women will naturally confirm, validate, and support the men in their vicinity. What did we just say? She just said it. We will support our men. And he just said it in his line. I'm going to repeat it again. The group of superior women will naturally confirm, validate, and support the men in their vicinity. They recognize the roles of men. They will immediately acknowledge the house of the man paradigm because their spirit is in harmony with it. She will accept him as head of household. No one needs to convince her or explain why. She knows and has always known, so she will welcome him, submit to his role, and nurture him. She loves this and is confronted by his strength. She knows that he will serve her even more than she serves him. Indeed, the natural woman knows that a superior man is a well of potential. He will serve her, pleasure her, heal her, and provide her to the limit of his capability. His presence makes her life more secure. His presence makes her life more secure. And the life of her children is more secure because of him. On the other hand, a group of inferior women will have a big problem recognizing the role of the male. They require a huge degree of convincing because they do not, under any circumstances, want to cooperate. It has to be explained to them 100 times and then explained again and all over again tomorrow. They adamantly will not validate him as husband, even though he prefers the role. Inferior women do her duty, and that is all. This defines the majority of women today. When first courting and during a brief honeymoon period, they may mask their true nature. But in essence, their underlying agenda is to interfere with men. So a man may have superior man character, be accepted by the union of men, perform his roles in society with honor, and have developed his masculine energy more than typical, but does not mean the women in his vicinity will recognize his standing in the family. And it does not mean that his woman will recognize him either. This often manifests as sexual reluctance, restricted sexual response, or RSR. There is a large and growing number of men today who are not empowered in a sexual sense due to this phenomenon. The gorilla phenomenon. The gorilla, like many arthropod mammals, has a social structure built on a hierarchy of sexual dominance. Gorillas live in small bands or clans that are ruled by a dominant male and several dominant females. There is a constant struggle between the biggest males for dominance, and only the dominant male mates with the females. The dominant females prevent the lesser females from mating with the current chief. It is the dominant male that is the chief aggressor against the enemies of the clan. Therefore, the more powerful and defensive the male is, the better are the chances that the females and young of the clan will survive in the jungle. Becoming the dominant male is the desire of each male, but only a few of them have a real chance to succeed. In the act of mating, the male gorilla is empowered. This is emphasized even more if the females to which he mates are healthy and receptive. In studies, it has been shown that a significant change comes over the male gorilla directly after he begins mating. When before mating photographs are compared to after mating photographs, it is seen that the gorilla's fur is thicker, healthier, and shiny versus the before coat. He is more vigorous and active. He is more confident, more resistant to disease, and heals from injury fast. In mating, two events occur to the male gorilla. Hormones are released into his blood that act to empower him, and he feels a sense of acceptance and security that clears and heals his spirit body. Mating improves the overall condition of the gorilla. This is the ultimate form of validation. But sometimes a funny thing happens. Sometimes the dominant females do not recognize the supreme male. Often a younger male will win his challenge and defeat the previously dominant male. At that point, he expects the females to accept him, and normally they do. But that is not always the case. The dominant females may temporarily reject him, not allowing him to mate. They then refuse both males, the old dominant male and the new alpha male. This is a dangerous situation for the clan. For whatever the empowerment that comes from mating, the new dominant male is exposed. Without the extra empowerment, it is hard for the new male to remain dominant. Sensing his lack of security, the other young males will be quick to challenge him, and he will be hard pressed to fend off all the other males. Without a truly dominant male, the clan is placed at risk. It is in greater danger from outside threats. The clan needs a consistent leader, and he needs to be empowered. The clan begins weaker. The clan becomes weaker due to the infighting of the males. The clan also suffers because there is no consistent direction and a lack of order. When one of the neighboring gorilla clans senses the weakness, they will come in and invade this clan. The new clan will take over the territory, reducing all the numbers of the first clan to subordinate status. It is a pack of predators attacks the clan. They will be killed. In the act of rejecting the rightful new dominant male, the females endanger themselves and the entire clan. It is not known what causes the dominant females to reject the new dominant male, but when they do, it spells doom for the clan. It spells doom for the clan. The upcoming conversation may be hard for some to hear. If you are a woman reading this, you probably are not going to like the next few topic sections. In the tribe, the position of a man is particularly dependent on his standing with women. Overall, his standing is determined by the opinions of him by the union of superior men. But again, this opinion is in part driven by how women judge him. If our society consisted of a body of divine women, this would not be a problem. For women would judge men fairly and be free for the most part of emotional bias. If our society consisted of a group of women who in the mean were AB women or superior women, then certain issues would present themselves, but women would tend to be accurate in their assessments more often than they would tend to be inaccurate. But unfortunately, we live in a society that is clearly firmly established in the Saho category, or society that consists mainly of inferior men and women. And these inferior women present a very great problem to the male in his quest to develop his masculine energy and bringing all four of his masculine archetypes online. A woman is an angel who can be the most beautiful, innocent, benevolent, and grace-filled creature on the planet. We are the first to adore her. We desire to bring her gifts and sing songs to her as we kneel and worship. But some of these women are deceitful, demon-raised, hateful, unreasonable, and obstinate to a fault. They inspire more of a desire to choke them than to love them. But either way, it is the task of the superior man to find standing with the tribe of women. He must entice them to be attracted to him and must learn to navigate the treacherous sea of her emotions. He must communicate with her mind and somehow survive the mind's field of false beliefs lurking there. There is no affording this. You must be able to confront the woman and gain some level of her validation. This is the only way to gain a seat at the table in the hall of the union of men. Some male-centric societies try to avoid this by oppressing women as a group and forcing them into submission. This has never worked in the past and can never work in the present. How can you hope to have a healthy society in total when half the population is kept from their life destiny path? The attempt is foolish beyond measure. Such male thinking is stupidity multiplied by stupidity. These societies exist in a sea of imbalance, injustice, crime, corruption, and war. They find it hard to make even the slightest social progress and have the nerve to wonder why. Really? You know, no, you cannot use brute force to subjugate females and think this gives you standing with them. Such women under this kind of suppression cannot raise normal sons. Some seek to use religion as a tool to harness women into submission and render them meek. You can always create the illusion that your women are in their place, but it will be the wrong place, and you will not be able to hide from their glaring evidence of social failure that surrounds you completely. Any male seeking to become a superior man and bring his full masculine energy online must encounter the female tribe and win their validation. What did he say? Any male seeking to become a superior man and bring his full masculine energy online must encounter the female tribe and win their validation. So that goes to show right there that the men must have that validation from a female.
Right. And oftentimes we give the validation. It's just hard to get it in return.
That's right. That's right. And when that doesn't happen, we don't feel as though we are.
We stop.
Yeah.
We eventually get tired.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Here we go. The Amazon woman. Today in our cities, there is an increasing pool of adult women who have become Amazon women, who demonize all things male, have lost any ability to trust men, and who refuse to validate any male for any reason. These toxic women cannot be cast aside. You must learn to recognize them in all their guises and facades, some quite beautiful, and you must heal them. If you seek to be a superior man, you must never allow the Amazon woman to control your emotions, and you must always control theirs. Their hate and mistrust gives you the advantage. You can detect them based on their CP, counterfeit persona, be it schizoid, oral, psychopathic, masochistic, or anal. This Amazon behavior is an energetic thing. It is not logical, and do not expect it to make sense. In some cases, they are born this way, and the Amazon trait can be passed down from generation to the next through the maternal bloodline. In other cases, it is like a mental disease, a mental illness, where the woman is infected through her female peer group. In other cases, it results from traumatic experience. This Amazon is a result of living in an urban environment that is characterized by poverty and a deficit of natural wisdom. Women who start their adult life with this posture of arbitrary male invalidation are in for a rough time. Even if they locate and attract a compatible male, the prospects of relationship success are slim to none. In my interview process, I asked hundreds of females to name 10 men they could trust who are not related to them. Normal women can name at least 5 or 6. In the case of the Amazon woman, they have trouble naming 2. And when asked what are their requirements for a mate, the list is always unusually long. In the typical case, they have not been in a relationship that lasted more than 6 months in the last 5-year period. Regardless of race, religion, nation, or social class, men are burdened by the Amazon woman. And because of this, they cannot win standing from the female population. My grandfather was a man with standing in the community. He was a member of a union of men. Although perhaps only half of these men could be considered superior men by natural standards. These men were mainly farmers and landowners who grew up during the Great Depression. Their common failing point was the church most belonged to. In spite of this, they lived to high moral standards and were, for most part, men of their word. Living through the Great Depression made them mentally tough. To a man, they were able to stay focused and see a project through it to its completion. My grandfather's grandfather was white. My grandfather was black. Thus, he had an entire set of white relatives living on the other side of the county. While the majority of the whites were extremely prejudiced and made every effort to undermine any black-owned enterprise, my grandfather's white relatives often quietly assisted him. My grandfather was a prominent man, starting during his career no less than 10 successful businesses. Some are still in operation today. The white side of his family were even more prosperous. It was not unusual to see a fancy car of a black or white person pull into the driveway of his farm. My grandfather also had good standing with women of all types. My grandmother died when I was young, but from all accounts, she was a fireball, a rebel, not a woman you wish to cross, be you man or woman. But apparently, she melted for my grandfather and meekly followed his lead. From what I could gather, women of all ages had a high regard for my grandfather. They sought his advice. When he reprimanded them, they changed behavior. And it was no doubt that part of his great standing with men was due to his high standing with women. There was no turmoil in his household. His daughters maintained relatively good conduct. My grandfather was a farmer. He was short and trim, a gentle sort, and used to sit in his sitting room smoking his pipe with Prince Edward tobacco. I fondly recall how I used to love the smell of it. My grandfather was a well-respected man of authority. His voice was normally calm and soft, but when he spoke with authority, people took heed. My father, on the other hand, was a tough man. He had a big voice, dark skin, and big, rough hands. He was not the type of man you wanted to mess with. But I remember on certain occasions when my grandfather spoke among the men in his certain voice, they all sat down and shut up, even my father. They did not question it or utter objections. My grandfather's voice was the final say. The younger men discussed it and debated the topic. But when grandfather spoke, that was it. He used to conduct prayer meetings on some Wednesday evenings. We were Baptist when I was very young, and so were many other children there. And often the children did or said things our parents did not agree with. If we were wrong, grandfather said nothing. But if we had good intentions or just did not understand the protocol, grandfather was quick to snap parents back in line. If he corrected my mother, she just listened and followed. Even after she got back home, she still abided by his instructions. This kind of respect is merely impossible to find today. There were some good examples of males serving as true heads of household in the past generations. In our travels overseas, we encountered several Asian families. In one case, while traveling by ship, we would get off the ship when in port because we like to shop and see the regular communities off the beaten path. Wait, let me go back. We would get off the ship when in port because we like to shop and see the regular communities off the beaten path. In Taiwan, we went to one such neighborhood with a friend who spoke the language. We were in a small market when we passed a small elder man sitting outside. He seemed poor, ragged, and unassuming, and did not seem like an authority figure at all. Not thinking he spoke any English, not thinking he spoke any English, we just held our hands in greeting. He waved back, stopping to look at a stand of trinkets. 4 young Asian men came up behind us to start trouble. They called us names in broken English. They told us to get out of there or there was going to be trouble. The old man stood up. His demeanor changed. He took 2 going to be trouble. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. He took 2 steps forward and spoke rapidly to the young men. We have no idea what he said, but it stopped the young men in their tracks. He made another statement, and it was clear he had reprimanded the youth sharply. They bowed their heads to him and silently withdrew. They seemed more afraid of him than any policeman or abrupt. The elder looked at me, and in his eyes I saw wisdom and justice. We went on our way, but I had many questions of my friend. We discovered this old man was a local patriarch. He was held in high esteem, a keeper of the peace, and judge of local matters. He was not just sitting out there getting some sun. He was watching over his community. We were fortunate to encounter a few older Asian men like that. In all of these few cases, they were men who enjoyed a high level of standing with women, especially younger women. One did not get the sense that they bullied women or used their standing to keep them down. Rather, they seemed to genuinely care and take a real interest in the well-being of women in their vicinity. As a young male in college, I went to the mansion home of a buddy of mine and met his family. His father was a multimillionaire. From the description of him from his son, I thought this guy was in ogre tyrant of a man, but he was not. In fact, he was a good and kind man with some wisdom. He did not understand why his family treated him so awful. He attempted to regulate behavior and maintain standards, but it became clear right away his efforts were directed to keeping members of his family from doing harm to themselves and their siblings. His his children became angry at him whenever he did not give in to their every demand for money, cars, and trips. But it was his wife who treated him with the most disrespect. On my first visit, she made it a point to undermine and disrespect him in 3 instances right in front of me. It was intentional. I thought perhaps he had a mistress on the side or some other thing, but I found no evidence of this. When I asked questions of his children, they claimed he had been a perfect father by my account. His wife was an Amazon woman, and this lack of respect at home diminished his standing among all male colleagues. In the same city, I knew a second white man, an owner of a small shipping company. He was a millionaire as well, but he had standing among the female. But he had standing among the females. They seemed to worship the ground he walked on. He was not particularly handsome, and he did not seem to, to me very suave. Yet there was an authenticity about him, and he seemed present with the ladies. He had charisma and spirit, and his standing with the female gender certainly elevated his standing with the men around him. Many men today engage in relationships in which they are constantly struggling against the female. In some cases, we believe it is their fault, but in other cases, there is little doubt they are doomed to failure no matter what they do. They make an attempt to stand up and play the role of father and provider, but with little or no respect or recognition. These men are not the recipients of love from a receptive and sexually potent female, so they never achieve the standing of a true head of household. And there is no doubt in my mind that this failure with women's damages the men psychologically. It is like the old gorilla phenomenon. When the alpha females reject the rightful male alpha, the common denominator is the presence of the Amazon woman. Whenever she is in the picture, we discover forces working to undermine male energy development. That was a lot. Give me a minute. I need to plug in my laptop.
Okay.
Is there anything that you wanted to speak on before I continue? It just for me, it's just a lot of information, and just like we said, when that Amazon woman steps in and steps up,
Right.
it kind of, well, not kind of, but it does hurt
And
the
I,
man.
yeah, I can't say I had some of that a lot in common with the Amazon woman, but I think it does have something to do with having to do it all yourself for so long. And it's just like a mindset that we all say, even now, we all say, okay, um, you'll be all right, you got this, you strong, you this, you that. And so those are speaking spells, because like I say, even when you're the Amazon woman, nobody just wants that all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that because I know other people have told me that, and I also told other people that.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I definitely can relate to that. But like we said, I think we're forced to be strong.
Yeah,
We're forced to be that Amazon woman.
yeah.
You know, so all right, up here we go. The definition of an Amazon woman. Here we go. Her female energy is significantly suppressed. Her master feminine faculty started the process of bringing some of her feminine archetypes online, but she blocked this development before it could be completed. Her male energy is overdeveloped. She embraces the yang lifestyle. Identifying Amazon woman behavior. What does the male see when he encounters the Amazon woman? What is the male point of view? I wish we had some men in here because I would definitely like to know the answer. I really would. It is very difficult to satisfy the Amazon woman, and she is not easily impressed. The Amazon woman only seems to become passionate about negative things. The Amazon woman cannot accept criticism or testimony from a male without prejudice. She strongly resents male authority figures. The Amazon woman is to some degree an alco, alcotro, what? Prostitute? Acculturated prostitute means that she engages in forms of prostitution which are socially acceptable and which involves virtual sexual acts as much as actual sexual favors. This is something like the gold digger. The Amazon woman is not able to get the same benefits from sex that the feminine woman does. And her attitude is that men do not deserve pleasure. Wow. The Amazon woman is a female spirit with an abundance of masculine energy and male like attributes in her personality. In some cases, her energy is so masculine that when she is intimate with a male, her energy repels his energy to some extent, happening under the surface. He may be very attracted to her body, and she may be very attracted to him, but their energy clashes. She finds that there seems to be a hidden force field that seems to push them apart. Being an Amazon woman does not mean you look masculine. She can look very soft and attractive on the surface. It is the personality of that Amazon nature is revealed. And after more, and even more so, it is in the bedroom that it shows up. He may like what he sees at first, and often he looks forward to spending some quality time with her in her panties and maybe a wine glass. But too often she is busy, and pleasure is not her priority. She comes home and degrades him about something and barks out commands, spoiling the mood, and she does not care. Pretty soon, the less attractive, the more yin waitress at the coffee shop starts to look really good to him. The Amazon woman at home depresses the sexual performance of most males. The more masculine his energy, the more negative the effect of the Amazon on him. Lesbian and bisexual women do fall into the category of Amazon woman. But by far, most of the women in this category are heterosexual and date men. Since the arrival of the Amazon woman, the divorce rate has skyrocketed. Even human being has an energy field, an or auric field or aura. This field is always broadcasting and is daily attracting some things to you and repelling other things from you. What this field attracts to you depends on what you are broadcasting. This is a simplified explanation of the law of attraction, a sister principle to the law of manifestation. In respect to the opposite sex, our field is always broadcasting based on our energy and personality. This generates a sexual response in all members of the opposite sex that we encounter, which are still sexually viable. The fully feminine woman is broadcasting four positive signals to men. These are the four archetypes of energy we spoke of: the seated hawk, the elegant rose, the moon, and the treasure chest. This has the effort of attracting positive and productive events in her relationship experience that lead to positive outcomes for her. The Amazon woman is not. The Amazon woman only has brought forward one of the archetypes, and in some cases, she is sending out four negative broadcasts. What seems what grows in her person and wait a minute. What grows in our personality is what we feed it. The Amazon woman is only feeding her yin or masculine energy, and that is all that is growing. If we look deeper at how this manifests in her daily life, we will easily see how males perceive her. This leads to unnecessary conflict between the sexes. In the awakening circle, discuss how this shows up. There is no blame and understand it is an energy thing. This conflict is the result of men and women attempting to relate who have not properly developed their masculine or feminine energies. If you more fully develop your energy, the conflict will go away. Too many men are struggling every day in a relationship with a woman who is trying to fulfill the roles of both male and female. In other words, she wants to wear the pants in the household, and she wants to make all the decisions in the home. The Amazon becomes threatened, anxious, and combative if he asserts himself on even a small issue. Too many women are struggling every day in relationships with men who will not stand up straight. He is apathetic, he refuses to commit, and he does not assert himself where it is needed. The Amazon woman is partially to blame. Any comments before I continue?
I agree. Yeah.
Me too. I
I
mean,
bet.
like he just speaking it.
Yeah. And I battle with the Amazon woman even to this day because it's just like I always say, damn, you want to lead, but it be on like shit that really don't need leadership. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe I did cause that. Um, just 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 by nature having to do it all for myself and then
Mm-hmm.
running into someone and doing it all for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I believe it has a big cause and effect.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know for myself, I was forced um, to act like an Amazon woman at times, and it's not nothing that I wanted to do, but I was forced into it. Do I want to be an Amazon woman? Of course not. I mean, we all don't want to be Amazon woman, but we're forced into it. So when you're forced into doing something, then you know, I think that man needs to know how to bring that out of you, you know? And the only way he can do that is to be that male.
Yeah.
All right. The cup is half empty. The cup is half empty. The Amazon woman only seems to become passionate about negative things. She complains, but does not really listen to the male's response, for his response does not seem to make any difference. The Amazon woman is not experiencing life in the same way the fully feminine woman is. The same events and climates do not hold as much joy and satisfaction for her. She argues with him over nothing and refuses to compromise because she desperately wants to experience passion about something, even if it has to be something negative. So her spirit indulges in a counterfeit substitute. The Amazon woman is going to experience more pain and misery because that is what she is attracting. So, what happens when the male in a relationship encounters his Amazon woman and her negative broadcast? What does she do to a man when she projects her negative broadcast? What the male experiences is that she is invalidating him. Validation is expressed as acknowledgement, acceptance, approval, affection, appreciation, and admiration. But what the male receives instead of is the negative side of that: rejection, disapproval, and disdain. This gradually kills his spirit. The typical male response is to withdraw. He stops being present. Depending on the situation, he may stay in the relationship, but he will not be fully present with the Amazon woman emotionally. It is at this point that he may look for another woman. He looks for another source of validation. With the Amazon woman, he is just going through the motions of a relationship. At the same time, most men are struggling with their own issues. The non select males experience rejection, disregard, and disrespect from the entire peer group of females consistently. Pop singers make fun of these men, and groups of young women enjoy the pastime of bashing them. Often, this is done in an arrogant and dismissive manner so that the men end up with low self esteem. There is a red flag here, and this disregard of non select has devastating consequences. These men are destroyed spiritually, and it may seem to the woman that the incident is over after the male slinks away with his tail between his legs. But usually, these men will only turn and plague other women they encounter. Our social system is a closed system, and these non select men are not going anywhere. There will always be some female for them to abuse or oppress. Mm, that's deep. Okay. Don't tell me what to do. The Amazon woman cannot accept criticism or testimony from a male without prejudice. She resents male authority figures and automatically invalidates male opinions that are critical of her, even from experts in the field, due to the fact that they are male. The Amazon seeks to undermine the authority of her boss, her school principal, local politicians, and any male figure of authority in her vicinity if her presence is too masculine. It does not matter what his platform, sense, or views are, she is unconcerned about what he stands for. What angers the hell out of her is that he had the gall to stand up to her, that he is assertive, and that he defines his ground. The Amazon sees this as a challenge. It is like one male lion becoming furious when another male lion enters his hunting territory. The first lion just does not want to occupy the space with any other male lion. She will, however, tolerate and welcome the opinions and contributions of homosexual men who are in yin, in nature, passive men, and men who are creative and artistic in a feminine way. She looks up to and is appreciative of these men. The Amazon woman is hard to impress because she resents male authority and thus is difficult to satisfy. It is also hard for her to be emotionally satisfied. The man buys her flowers and they are beautiful, but she only feels a little joy. And in a few minutes, it wears off. He does not get any real credit for his act. To be impressed by any man, regardless of his accomplishments, a woman must fully present in life. Things this things matter, things most matter to her, and a woman is only impressed by men to the point that she is invested in them. To connect with men, she would need to have feminine energy. And so the reaction of the Amazon woman is that men stop trying to impress her. And the men in her select category go out of their way to let her know just how much they are not trying to impress her. Then they ridicule any man who tries to, because only the non select men would still try to do that. You can pick up.
We're gonna pause. I gotta use the restroom. That's why I've been moving back and forth.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go on a little pause. That was 11 pages, and then we're gonna pick up in a few minutes. I'm gonna step away and go to the restroom, and then right back. And if I play music, they're gonna flag the video, so I can't. So I'm gonna put a message on the screen,
Okay.
and I'm gonna mute.
Okay.
Okay. We are back. Well, I'm back. Lisa, you back? Oh,
Yeah, I'm back. Do you see my computer glitching?
no.
For real?
Yeah. What is it on?
It's like it keep flickering.
No, I don't see it.
Oh wow. I wonder why I only see. Okay, well, whatever. I was just trying to figure it out.
You mean on this background or just in general?
In general, my computer keep flickering.
Listen, I want to share, and it's not a plug. I'm not getting paid. I'm covered the name, but this coconut water here, the one in the white is the original state of coconut water with all the fibers. And I'm seeing her while Lisa reading, drinking this, baby. I mean, ooh, I have to put it out. Stomach just hurting. Okay.
Oh my god. Well, what? Wait a minute. What kind is it though?
I text it to your phone,
Okay. Yeah, because
but
I know we be adding the coconut water with our smoothies,
uh-huh.
and
And that's what it said. This one is best for smoothies because it has all that fiber and stuff. A lot of people don't like it because it tastes like coconut, but it's cold pressed. When you buy the one in the blue, they have put it through a chemical process because
mhm.
it's not naturally. But I start getting this because Walmart started carrying it, of course. And this ain't a promotion for Walmart. Stay away from Walmart, y'all. But you can definitely tell the difference. I'm seeing her drinking while you reading, girl. It took everything in me not just get up and go. I was like, I gotta go. Whoa.
Girl. Well, you know when you gotta go, you gotta go. You should have just got up and went. Okay. Me reading
Girl,
and the people there. Hey, we gonna hold it down.
girl, you ain't see me moving. I'm easing overnight. Oh my goodness. Oh no. It was an emergency situation. Whew. I feel so much better. Y'all have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So that pretty much gave us a lot of information about the Amazon woman.
mhm.
And one thing I did want to point out is that a man must know how to identify that. And when they know how to identify those characters, they got to try to learn how to turn her the other way. Like bring that
Yeah.
Amazon out, not walk away.
Or be combative.
Right,
Because if you're not, when you walk away, it's dismissive. If you're
right.
combative, it's still dismissive because it's not an attack. And that's what
Hmm.
I'm finding more in my relationships. It's like, okay, um, every conversation is viewed as an attack. And it
Hmm.
depends on your mate, of course. But it's just like, no, that's not balanced. Something is going wrong somewhere, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But they have to know how to identify, and they have to know how to heal it, help to heal it. You know, I
Right.
think that's the biggest thing.
Um, it's just that's my and and I'm gonna honestly admit because I know we get on the brothers. I be having a lot to say about bro. I'm gonna say this to myself. Sage is more critical of themselves than anything, especially with the Gemini placement, a heavy Gemini placement. Anybody with a heavy Gemini placement is self-critical as well. It
Hmm.
ain't just for the outward world. And so for me, when I hear about the Amazon woman, it makes my skin cringe because I have a lot in common with the Amazon woman.
Hmm.
When we first read it in the female version, it was just like, dang. And so what I did was went and tried to fix those parts. And it doesn't happen overnight, but just becoming aware. of what is in operation when you're speaking or interacting with others.
Mm-hmm.
And to read it again, it still hits down to the core because it's like a part of one of those counterfeit personalities. Like, how did this become the main lead in all the four archetypes? And like I said, we can say, I say all the time, you know, us being forced into these roles, being forced into being strong and being, I mean, held captive by the world. When you hear black woman, we automatically identify as strong. It makes my skin cringe. We're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be strong, suppose. I mean, we're supposed to be nurturing. When you think of a mom, she nurtures, and none of us got that. Just purely pouring in many ways without the strong word being attached. It's like it's
Right.
make my skin cringe. And then so when you were reading, I'm like, dang, did I pick that back up? Have I been dealing in balance, or am I coming back with them? And it's like now going through a divorce, you being forced back into those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and truth be told, most of us are in this role in our relationships, let alone separate. But it's just like it's one of those things. Nobody wants it, but we have to. And then when it's not necessary, how do you turn it off? Well, every time we read Amazon One, it makes my skin cringe. It's like, dang, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Especially when he said, making or being combative about little stuff that don't matter. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about nobody else. Women are arguing about a spoon. If we got a specific spoon that we use for something, you take, baby, it's a problem. And it's like, think about all the minor arguments, which turn into little drops in a bucket, in a bigger bucket,
Mm-hmm.
and the big blow ups that might matter. A lot of this stuff don't even be mattering.
Right.
And then you get sucked into the habit of this being the cycle of how this goes. And so then you're acting out of habit. And,
Right.
and it made me think, like, how many of my habits are of that Amazon woman? But I can't accept criticism when they say that part. I wasn't resonating. I love for somebody to tell me about me. I ask my friends all the time. I'm like, hey, because sometimes I be feeling like maybe I'm not getting it. I called Lisa and the Abundant Sister this week because I want to know what they see because
Mm-hmm.
they've been along the journey with me. Um, my habit is going in to self first and trying to fix stuff. And usually, sometimes it ain't you. You know, it might be the other party.
Yep.
You just want to check yourself first, and then the check-in commences outwardly. And so, in that, it's like, dang. And when I'm speaking, am I portraying Amazon woman, or can I approach that a little more gentler? And then it says that it's very difficult to satisfy the Amazon woman. And so I'm like, I ask Lisa all the time, do you think this is being bougie? Because when it comes to when you're dating again, you want to have friends around you that's gonna tell the truth.
Yeah.
Is this bougie that I feel this way? You know, and let your circle is a reflection of you, number one. And so if you surrounded by people where you don't value their opinion, that's an even bigger problem. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you around those people? It has to be friendships and that of value. And so when he said this is something like a gold digger, I could talk about this for hours because it's like we're taught to devalue ourselves. And when you do value yourself, it's related to a gold digger. No. But the
Mm-hmm.
truth, the truth remains, I feel better if I got my money up front. Period. That's just me. Don't, this doesn't reflect everybody, but that's just me. My tears are not as many if I know what it is from the jump. Now, that might be backward. I came from the hood and like a hood lifestyle. It's normal, but it's just like, what does it go do? To me, it's just like, yeah, I would rather be crying on them dollars than, and excuse the language, we say it all the time, female leaving with nothing but your panties wet. I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true.
I need to see my level up. And
Right.
so that's just what it is for me. But that Amazon, ooh, I
It's
mean,
deep. It's
yeah,
deep.
yeah.
Like he gave so many good examples, but for me, I just want the fellas. I want them to understand that, because if they can't understand it, then how can that Amazon woman be healed?
And
So that's
yes, Lisa, if we
so
never get our healing,
right,
that
right.
leaves us empty. It leaves us empty.
Yeah.
Even today, I feel like, dang, pouring all them years. Women value time too. All that time. All that time I put into that thing, and it still failed. So now you got to go back to the drawing board, and you got to be like, look, I ain't got no more time to waste. So this is what I need for it to be a go. Now, moving forward, I'm not accepting no red flags. If it's a red flag at me, nope, no, thank you, because I know I ain't gonna about to come in perfect. But when he said in the other book, women should stop approaching relationships with what you think that person will evolve into. That doesn't work, because if they never get there, you're never gonna be satisfied.
Right.
The Amazon woman is hard to satisfy.
Yep.
So this is deep, girl. But yeah, that's all I
It is. It is.
that's all I had to say. Okay, so I'm taking over to read. I'm gonna pick up on "Don't Tell Me What to Do." What you stopped
The
on
key point.
skyrocket?
The
Oh
key
no,
point.
man, you right.
One
67. The
sixty.
key point. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The key at the top.
Okay. Okay. The key point is that the women in a community who validate men to the point that they become men of standing have a good start in establishing a strong community. It all begins with the way his wife or mate regards her mate. Socially, it goes back to that old concept of the dominant male. So the male seeking to evolve must invest some time perfecting his female radar. He must use the tools here in this book to learn. I'm sorry, to learn how to identify the Amazon woman when he encounters them. Then he must either heal them or walk away. And it's the same thing for men. Do not date looking at the potential of what she can become. If it's a red flag, he say either you gonna heal them or walk away. There's no gray area. He should, if at all possible, avoid entering into a relationship with her. Even so, it is not possible to even so, it is not possible to avoid her altogether. For his mate may have friends who are Amazon women. In such a case, he would be wise to limit his mate's association with such women. They are poison that in time will corrupt his woman. Wow. Men will encounter the Amazon woman on the job, in his church, in his family, and in the community. He must be constantly in a posture of defense against the Amazon woman. and his best defense is to expose her. If there are a large number of the Amazon women in his vicinity, then he needs to cultivate more female friends who have a more balanced and feminine energy. His armor is his true masculine energy. When he is solidly, solidly and authentically male, expressing all four masculine archetypes, that is a powerful shield against the undermining influence of the Amazon. The question is a question of validation. Men need female validation, but he must not make the mistake that many men do. That is to seek validation from the females who withhold it, even when the male is worthy. Learn to spot the women who arbitrarily seeks to invalidate men just for the fun of it. Do not think less of yourself when they demean you, and certainly do not judge yourself based on their standards. Their standards are false. Below, we present a table of validation. Do not allow yourself to fall into this trap. Apathy and disconnection from the female peer group is not the solution. Avoid the Amazon woman, but do not let your encounters with her sour you to the other half. Support and love the feminine women all that much more. And do not stop seeking her validation because she will gladly give it. Seeking validation is a sign of being human. No one is too manly to do it. A wise king needs the validation of his subjects. A father craves the validation of his son. The teacher appreciates the validation from his students, and only a fool rises so high that he feels above the need of the validation of others. This is how we might remain connected to our tribe, no matter how different we may be in attribute from the others, no matter how different the task assigned to us is from that assigned to our others. So that was like don't tell me what to do section. Table of validation. The fool is ignorant and he does the fool is ignorant and he know the extent of his ignorance. Hear now these words of wisdom. Humans are made to live in a tribe. We are made to require validation because it helps us to know when we are truly furthering the progress of the human society or when we are just recycling oxygen. What do people really want in life? Of course, we want money, companionship, and sexual gratification. And all these things are good to have to the extent that we are evolved enough to enjoy them without causing pain. But these things alone do not satisfy us on a deep level. In getting these things, the hunger deep inside is not satisfied. In our heart of hearts, we deeply desire validation. The chart shown on the page, on the next page, presents the good stuff in the soup in the upper section of the table and the bad stuff in the lower section. Biologists and alternative medicine professionals have demonstrated over the years that the emotional climate of a person's relationship with their mate and peers has a profound impact on their physical health and psychological well-being. Now it's very odd that it's showing we ain't got no viewers, but we have viewers. Okay. Okay. One of the first areas affected by the negative emotional expressions above is the condition of the blood. People want to live on the top part of that chart, but the inferior man, the Sahu man, wants to give out the energy on the bottom part of the chart to others. Think of hate groups. Some of us are so quick to disregard our brother or sister, and rejection is easy to dish out. Disrespect comes so easy to the arrogant ones today. But by now, we should be able to see what we have been putting out into the world. What we have been putting out into the world is what is waiting there, waiting to eventually find its way back to the source, back to us. So I'm going to share the first chant. Ooh. Okay. Well, I thought I was. Yeah. Let me see
And so
why.
I'll let you share it.
I don't know why I sent the email. Let me go back and check. Oh, that's weird. Child, I didn't even send it, child.
Oh, you didn't?
Okay. So I'm sending it now. Mm, okay. Why did it take the third attachment off? I'm so annoyed. And that's the one I need, the chart. Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, all right. Let me share the screen.
All right.
This is the chart. Let me take the banner down. Okay. So we see on here adoration. The chemical spin is melatonin, melanin spin 9.6. So this is a chart, y'all can see it, that's showing how different things affects different parts of things in your body. It says admiration high and L dopamine 9.2, appreciation thyroxine 8.8, affection in endomorphs 8.4, approval insulin 8.0, acceptance androgen 7.6, acknowledgement steroids 7.2, and then it's showing the middle point of that pH balance. And then you can see disregard, rejection, disrespect, disapproval, hatred, malign, revulsion, acidic toxins, toxic neurochems, and carcinogens, things that cause cancers. And you see the pH is 6.8, 6.4, 6.0, 5.6, 5.2, 5.0, and 4.8. Very low on a pH scale. Female selection criteria. The male seeks standing among the female gender. When women are judging men in any capacity, there's always a sexual component. If they are examining you for a job as a teacher, to take a course from you as a civic leader, or an official in business, know that there's always a sexual component. Men are never judged solely on their merits or demerits, qualifications, or character. That is the reality. Now, the exception is as follows: most women fall into the inferior category in respect to level of evolution. Just so you understand, so do most men. They are Sahu. In point of evolution, they have not yet entered into the upper triangles of the tree of life, but that does not define all women. They are indeed a significant number of women in the superior category and in the divine category. The statement above does not apply to these women. A woman who has attained to the middle triangle and the superior phase of human evolution is better able to see a man based on his merits without respect to any sexual attraction, up or down. A woman who has attained to the divine level of human evolution is objective and clear in her sight. She will see through to the heart of the issue without distraction. She can judge truly. The more truly evolved a woman is, the less she will fall prey to the illusions of her counterfeit personality. Notwithstanding that, let us examine how the modern female is currently approaching mate selection and her criteria for intimacy. At the first encounter, females judge males as to sexual preference. Men are either select or non select. Women place men in one of four categories during sexual assessment. Two of these categories are select categories, and these men are and these men are worthy of dating. The other two categories are non select men, are not worthy of dating, are only dating begrudgingly. So let's see what that looks like. So the men is dating begrudgingly. So they really don't like women. They just date them. And I say that all the time. And you can judge this most of the time by the relationship that that man has with his mother and his sisters. Argue with your mama. Okay. Let me see if that's it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh. Okay. So this is the second chart. Female selection criteria. Mr. Goodbar select. He has sex appeal. He is aggressive, exciting, and charming. Her reason for judging him. Hold on one second. He appeals to her rose energy. He is exciting to be with. He gratifies her desire for passion. He arouses her. Mass men select. He has wealth. He has power. He has status. Appeals to her treasure chest energy. His wealth, power, or status holds real value for her. It is a mask hiding the man underneath, but she is willing to accept that in trade. Nice guys, non select. He has character but lacks sex appeal, wealth, or status. Fail. She welcomes platonic relationships with him but flatly rejects his romantic advances. And then gamesmen or ordinary non select. His masculine energy is not developed. Adult, still in juvenile stage. He presents a facade because he lacks the substance females are looking for. Lisa, can you mute your mic? I thought it was Pharaoh pressing buttons. I'm like, what is you in there pressing them buttons?
My bad.
The two non select groups of men represent 2/3 of the total male population. It is far a larger group than the select group. This is a product of the media and the current imposition of the scarcity mindset into the mass subconscious. The four categories are named allegorically: Mr. Goodbar, the mass men, the nice guys, the gamesmen or ordinary men. First off, understand that in the sexual arena, females choose, not males. It is the females who choose. Most players know that chasing after a woman who has not chosen you is a fruitless exercise. Most women decide in the first 5 minutes whether a man is to be placed in the select or non select category. And if they decide you are non select, no amount of persistence or charm or gifts will sway her. If they decide you are select, you still have to pursue them, but it is a formality only. It is mainly necessary not to do anything stupid or rash. It is a matter of showing interest. So the next chart, let me pull it up. This is the next chart. Categories of men, Mr. Goodbar, he is self-centered. And this is likely issues during encounter. He's self-centered. Women serve at their pleasure. They relate to women on their terms. And when they tire of her service, she is dismissed like the maid. These men know they are at the top of the sexual hierarchy. There are more very desirable women, less very desirable men. Mass men, he is a non-committal. They bear emotional scars beneath the mask. As time removes the mask, she is not always happy with the man she finds beneath it. Nice guys, he is bland. Nice guys eventually rebel. The gamesman, he is transparent. He wants to get his by any means necessary. Some women see through his facade, some only see what they want to. Others try to change him. If a woman places a man in the select category, he has won access and a clear path, and that is more than half of the game. The man makes the first move, and the woman will guide the rest of her process from there on out. He has to do something to fail. In the case of the non select man, the door is closed and he has to do something to open it. Most women decide in the first 5 minutes whether a man is to be placed in a select or non select category. In the above statement, we identify half the problem. Okay, so I'm gonna take the charts down. Down, down. Let's move on. Most women decide in the first 5 minutes whether a man is to be placed in the select or non select category. In the above statement, we identify half the problem. So Daffy Dan is bopping along in life thinking the women he meets should judge him on his merits and his character. Wrong. That is maybe how it should be, but we assure you that it is not how it works. Women make the decision in 5 minutes, hardly enough time to bring the full weight of her potential wisdom and intuition to bear on such an important issue. In a general sense, men who have their surface act together will make a better impression. Men who have a greater depth but may not have their facade together on that particular day, well, they tend to be discounted. Most men would like to think they are in the top two categories. Most are not. Even many decent looking men are not manly enough or cool enough to be considered select. Mr. Goodbar and the masked men are considered select by women because they can deliver romantic intoxication. Mr. Goodbar and the masked men know just what know just which buttons to press to arouse the animal nature of women and their particular carnal or psychological addiction. The romantic feelings that so many women long for are feelings of intoxication, and most women are addicted to this psychological intoxication just as an alcoholic is addicted to alcoholic beverages. It is unfortunate, but still true. Explaining this to a woman will get you nowhere. They know and frankly do not care. They want what they want. The problem is they will withhold their validation of you as a superior man as a result of this. This is the case even if she is already married and is not considering you for a mate. If you are not select by her standards, she still will insist on withholding validation. This situation exists because of the scarcity model of society. And I can't say I can relate to that because I validate my brothers. I tell people in general, I give out validation. That's just my style. So yeah, I see it all the time though. When I'm with my homegirls sometimes, and if a man looks a certain type of way and he try to holler and they get rejected, it's looks based. And then a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you have to be attracted." Yes, you do have to be attracted, but that's not everything. You can get with the ugliest man and he treats you better than all the men you done been with that were attractive. It should go solely by character. And you don't know character in the first 5 minutes. You don't know character in the first year. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So this. Okay. I was just making sure I read this whole thing. Women are aroused and influenced by the select men because they have conditioned themselves to be aroused by them, and society has played a major role in affixing this. Indeed, most of the commercial ads on visual media are designed to keep this as a current reality. As long as this dynamic exists, the commercial sector can sell women more things, and men will borrow on credit to fund these purchases. I'm sorry, I'm feeling very nauseous. Oh, Oh, hold on. Pharaoh, bring me a bottle of water, please. Shh. Just bring me a water, please. Hold on. Oh, hold on.
Y'all ain't gonna believe I've been talking all this time, and didn't know I was on mute. Well, that's cool. Things happen. But what I was saying was, this is why it's so important for us to get this information out about the men and the female. It's just so many things that we both need to learn and change our ways for certain things. So definitely share this. Share this with your family, friends, so everybody can start healing.
Sorry, y'all. Had a rough night. So, okay. Let's get right back into it. I got me some hot water. Hoping that it's gonna help. My stomach is queasy. Um, so it's still true. Explain this to a woman gets you nowhere. Okay. They said that the media. Okay, so I'm gonna start right here. Women are aroused and influenced by the select men because they have conditioned themselves to be aroused by them. And society has played a major role in affixing this. And indeed, most of the commercial ads on visual media are designed to keep this as a current reality. As long as this dynamic exists, the commercial sector can sell women more things, and men will borrow on credit to fund these purchases. If a substantial percent of the female population begin to program themselves to be aroused by skinny men with a hump on their backs, these men will become more popular. And the next generation of women, due to peer pressure, will tend to adapt to the same program, even if the original reason was no longer relevant. Because the media and peer influence is so powerful in this regard, female arousal programs are now out of alignment with DNA programs. If we review what has been stated in earlier chapters, we will immediately see three red flags. Number one, women tend to desire a man of women tend to desire a man like her father if her relationship with her dad was good. So, what if her father was an inferior person? What if his CP, chronic counterfeit personality, was chronic or severe? That's a red flag. If the relationship with dad was bad, she wants a man who is what her father was not, which is still bad. This still is imposed over her natural attraction programs and distorts her perception. Oh my goodness. Um, distorts her perception. Number two, each girl is imprinted by the first three men she has sex with during puberty. Based on his energy, she desires a man who is similar. But of course, if the boys or young men she encounters were dysfunctional or immature, then her selection criteria will be severely flawed. Big red flag. Number three, during the early stages of puberty, she forms an image of the alpha male based on the men in her environment who make a positive impression on her. But again, the this is environment specific. Depending on the time period, culture, current events, and conditions, the men she judges as alpha men may be inferior based on the measures used in this book to judge masculine energy. Again, a red flag. In short, if the male model she was exposed to in youth were inferior, words often were inferior. I'm sorry, I skipped the word. I skipped the line. If the male models she was exposed to in youth were inferior, then it follows that her selection model crafted from them will also be flawed. In other words, often she wants something that may not be good for her. Woo! That's a whole word right there. She wants something that ain't good for her. Can you imagine your whole dating life going after one type of man that's never been good for you? Okay. Um. In fact, if she were in fact to enter into a relationship with this dream male the experience that would result might not be positive. In other words, the typical female is looking for a symbol, and he may or may not be a superior man. Women place men in the select or non select category based on this initial determination. I'm finna sip this, y'all. I don't feel good. It's too hot, really. Women place men in the select or non-select category. Then, based on this initial determination that a male is included into a woman's sphere of activity, or he is excluded from contact with her. Some women will maintain minimum communication with a few men from their non select category, usually to support some special interest or to perform mundane tasks the select men refuse to do. But for the most part, non select men are excluded from her general sphere of activity to the extent that she controls her space during the day. She seeks to keep a distance from any contact with non-select men. Some men will go as far, some women will go as far as to restrict all their male platonic friends to men from their select category. As a consequence of this practice, women typically have a circle of male friends who represent an exceptionally small bandwidth on the spectrum of possible male character types. She basically has intentionally restricted herself from association with a wide variety of common men. This is a disastrous practice with negative consequences for her career, income potential, and networking ability. This self imposed isolation from the general male population is one of the main obstacles preventing women from reaching their destiny. Men from the non select group are often just pushed aside. They are trampled over in her rush to get to the select men she craves. Of course, there is a pushback. Men react. In the first 10 years of her adult life, most women have no idea what she wants, what she needs, or why she's engaged in relationships at all. When you examine the social carnage in their wake, this becomes obvious. While you cannot stop her from sabotaging herself or change her beliefs about selection criteria, you do not have to succumb to the same madness. It is natural for a man to desire to appeal to the ladies. We all want to be picked. No man desires to be left behind. But in the light of the current selection criteria, the superior man will exercise caution and a bit of self regulation. Recognize foolishness when you see it and resist being a fool yourself. The inferior man will do just about anything to be in her select category. Men buy cars to impress women, have plastic surgery, go to the gym, engage in criminal activities to get money for her, humiliate himself, lie, borrow status, dump on his friends, and abandon the man code, all to achieve select status. Some effort is okay. It is part of being a man to want to impress women. But dude, you need limits. Some lines you should never cross. Honor, integrity, virtue, and wisdom always have value. They have value even if a woman as a social group stops seeing the value there. Men are judged select mainly based on stuff like money, power, sex, eye appeal, peer appraisal, etc. These things have value too, but do not give up the good part of you just because women are too short sighted to see value in it today. A woman's version of select does not always equal the highest and best version of a man, but you should never stop seeking to become the highest and best version of yourself just to impress a woman. We have experienced being in both categories at different points in our life and have been an intimate part of male groups from both sides of the fence. The relationship experience of the two groups is widely different. Women treat men they date from the non-select group in one way. They treat men from the select group in a more favorable. They treat men from the select group in a far more favorable fashion. Women will date men from the non-select group. They have no choice, but he is subjected to second-rate treatment or worse. When select men enter into the relationship, the woman makes major effort to try to please him. She is seeking to seduce him constantly, not just as a means to get him in the first place. She shops at Victoria's Secret and wears sexy lingerie at night. She cares about what he thinks. Be forewarned, if a woman dismisses every idea you have as nonsense, you are not select to her. She is motivated to impress the select male. If she cannot cook, she attempts to learn. She even makes excuses to have sex more. Now, if you're not in that non-select category and she is forced to date you, don't expect sexy lingerie at night. I know it's lingerie. I like lingerie though. Um, you get granny panties, tights, flannels, or Ninja Turtle outfits from her teen years. What? Why they all on my Ninja Turtle outfit now? Don't do that. That has nothing to do with nobody. I just like Ninja Turtle. And I got a Mickey and I got a cat. Okay. You get granny panties, tights, flannels, or Ninja Turtle outfits from her teen years. She makes excuses to have less sex. She does not probe you to reveal your ideas, but she does not care what you think about stuff. You are non-select. What could you possibly know about anything? She is not putting any effort into seducing you. Once the relationship is underway, you might get some fantasy action on your birthday. That's it. She will produce 100 good reasons why she does not put forth the extra effort. The kids, her job, her family, her church, the pet, or the last horror flick she watched. But strangely, when you are that select dude, these things will never stop. These things never ever stop her. The conversations never come up. So I hate to break it to you, but if she treats you that way because you've been judged, it's because you've been judged non-select. That is the scarcity model. And so in light of this, we can understand the motivation for men to try to upgrade his ranking. Who wants the mediocre woman when you can get the exciting, motivated one? So we end this by saying it is human nature to want to impress women. Some men are naturally impressive, others have to work harder at it. There's no blame here, but a superior man never violates the man code just to impress a female. If you have stacks of cash like that, buy a fancy car. Dress to impress, take her to upscale events, do all that stuff, but never put your efforts to impress her above your investment in life. If it takes you off your natural path, it is best to not do it. If a relationship with her stops you from becoming your highest and best self, choose yourself over her. Find some natural means to improve your rank. Learn the tantra. Read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Learn a second language and speak it during sex. She won't know what you're saying, but it impresses women. Get a manicure, fool, but never jump off a cliff just because she's cute. Have some self respect. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip, y'all. I'm trying to get through, but it's like a lot. Whoa. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Acculturated prostitution. Once a man understands the female selection criteria and the scarcity model, he may then begin to comprehend why acculturated prostitution has become an epidemic in our society. It is fueling the porn industry and a major moving force behind the overall sex industry. Nor is this mainly an issue we can blame females for. For the most part, it is a creation of men. The acculturated prostitute is a sexual politician. She is not a common prostitute. And at first glance, she does not resemble the common prostitute at all. She looks respectable and she acts respectable. If you approach her outright with an offer for money for sex, she will probably slap your face and stomp off in indignation. But there is a definite connection between the act of her giving her love and the receipt of material goods and services. Sometimes these goods are tangible. Acculturated prostitution is a socially acceptable form of prostitution. Western culture not only tolerates the practice, it encourages it. Accumulated, Acculturated prostitution has spread over the community like an epidemic. The acculturated prostitute suffers from an imbalanced sexual persona. This dysfunction is the foundation for her unnatural sexual behavior. They may hail from any of the archetypes or any of the five spirit personality structures. There are many factors that contribute to the likelihood of a woman engaging in this behavior, but the key factor, the deciding catalyst, is a subconscious trait. How can we define the acculturated prostitute? Sex is the acculturated prostitute. Sex to the acculturated prostitute is a commodity to be traded to some extent. In this regard, she may trade many aspects of this commodity. Her sexual trade may involve sleeping with a man, or her sexual trade may involve companionship without intimacy, or she may engage her sensual personality or seductiveness as a tool of persuasion. In situations where the man has sexual desires for her, but she has no such desire for him. While it is expected that the partners in a relationship will reward each other from time to time as an act of love for the acculturated prostitute, such materials rewards are the primary reason she engages in the relationship in the first place. Love is a secondary consideration after rewards. She uses sex to gain benefits or preferment that normally would be obtained in exchange for the tendering of some service or talent. This then is another path of distraction. The acculturated prostitute is the acculturated prostitute is like the Amazon woman, a distraction. She a more tempting distraction and thus a more dangerous one. Learn these lessons the easiest way. If you change in and take the hair, hold on now. If you charge in and take the bait, you will still learn the lesson, but you will learn it the hard way. She will teach you, and in the end, you will suffer. Most importantly, you will waste time, your most valuable commodity. She will only deplete you, and and will it will require more energy and more time to obtain the goal you seek. Once you become strong, you can heal the acculturated prostitute. Until then, do not allow her to detour you from your path. If you must entertain her, do it on your terms. If you wish to be successful at relationships, study divorce. The agenda of the sexual politician is stripped naked of its illusions in any divorce court. Hmm. They can be seen for what they are. The actual rate of marriages that fail within 15 years exceeds 60%. You will observe that the counterfeit persona is the cause. In many women and men, there appears to be a conflict between the desires of the flesh and moral dictates. Men and women have a very good intellectual sense of right and wrong, but when they come to the crossroads, they do not do right. The subconscious overrules the intellect. They are not willing to sacrifice carnal pleasure, their false religious beliefs, pride, or social status to be in accord with their spirit. Understand the counterfeit personality, learn it, and study it. In this way, any man can become a master of relationships. Have a goal in, have a goal going in, and do not detour from it. In this chapter, we have been posting a guidebook. We have established red flags to look for. In your mind, hear the words of a woman, but always have an eye out for the red flags and heed them. Do not follow her words, follow the red flags. Every woman has them. This does not mean that you discard the woman. Rather, you go by what she does, not what she says. Many women look trustworthy and innocent on the surface. They have one thing in common, and that is that they are skilled at saying things you want to hear. They may not have a degree in psychology, but they are very perceptive in sizing you up. They have trouble relating to the opposite sex in normal ways, so they compensate by exploiting weaknesses and unfulfilled desires. These women know that most men are not as romantic and sensitive as a typical woman would like, so they learn how to appear to be the thing you desire. Force them to act in the way you desire. Force them to be feminine. If they are not emotionally invested in the outcome of the relationship, they will reveal this in a short time. Guide your response accordingly. Broadcasting to attract women. Lisa a gangster, y'all. She can read straight through. I gotta take a break, child. I was like, at this point, child, I don't know. 333. We almost done.
Yeah, we almost done. You're doing a good job.
What you think so far?
Um, it's
Well,
a
on this section, acculturated prostitution.
I never even thought that they actually did that. Like I never even thought women perceived themselves to be like that.
Hmm.
So I that's like new to me. I just keep saying what? And then it said this is how the Amazon perceives herself to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it hmm, it's just I don't know. I'm like trying to take it all in
Right. Yeah.
because it's a lot.
Um.
I mean, I do understand that sex is a commodity. I mean, you know, that's what people choose to do. You know, but I'm just trying to understand it.
Right. Okay. I'm just not thinking like, why didn't I take that meat out? Mm-hmm. So I guess I have it out tomorrow, child. I'm like, I ain't took out now meat. Not one. Like not one bite. Okay. Yeah, excuse. Jim and I, we always thinking. The whole time I'm reading, I'm thinking about what Lisa said yesterday. The video, I just be going. So pardon me. Okay, broadcasting to attract women. First lesson. Know the women you are seeking to attract. The moon woman is most attracted to the warrior energy in men. The elegant rose is most attracted to the healer. The seated hawk is most attracted to the eagle energy in men. And the treasure chest is most attracted to the hunter. However, if you only have one energy archetype online, you can still attract a woman, but you will have a hard time keeping her. You are still an inferior man. She is seeking a superior man. Nevertheless, it is important to discover the general category of females you find most appealing. Express the corresponding portion of your male energy foremost. If you desire a moon type woman, emphasize your warrior attributes. Do this even if your warrior energy is your second most powerful energy. Second lesson, the more you advance and severe a woman's counterfeit persona is, the more she is aroused by negative stimulation. In other words, the less she is aroused by positive male attributes. Nice guys turn her off. Honor, virtue, and dignity are nice, but she does not find those qualities sexy in a man. She desires a bad boy, a rogue, a tough guy who will treat her tough. Of course, you must understand that the very qualities that attract her to you will be what destroys any chance a relationship has of working. So it is a shell game. To some extent, you must maintain an illusion until such time as the main negative issues are addressed. If you assess yourself and determine that your counterfeit persona is mild or cute, then you will discover that you will lack appeal to women who are chronic and severe in the level of their CP. Therefore, if you become attracted to such a woman, you will have to enhance your personality to attract her. You will need to draw on your animal nature, your lower character, to gain her interest. Once she gets control of her counterfeit persona or personality and it reduces to the acute level, then she will gain the stability to appreciate your masculine archetypes in their superior form. Third lesson, in order to attract a certain type of female in your life, surround yourself with her vibration. Behave as if you have, behave as if that woman is already there. Behave of Behave as if there is already a woman like her in your peer group. Go where she would go. Do what she would do. Hang out with women like her. Make friends with her. Make friends with women like her. Make a basket to catch her. You need a basket, not a physical basket, but an energy web. You need something to catch her. Think like a spider. He sets up his web in a corner by a light near the food source of the insects he intends to entrap. By the insects he intends to attract. To trap. I'm sorry. They will fly or walk right into the web. It is the same with females. Where do you normally see them? In hair salons, at the gym, in the grocery store, picking up a kid from school, or going to work each morning. We used to meet a lot of girls on the metro bus. Mostly we drove to work, but sometimes we rode the bus part of the way so we could window shop. It may be that you do not normally come into contact with the women you seek to attract. So you might need to alter your daily routine a bit to place yourself in their path. Then you must cast a spell to bring them to you. Broadcasting means just that, a broadcast. It is your song, it is your signal. Your face is the antenna. What you think changes who you are. The vibration of what you are determines what you attract. Become uniform in one thing to increase your signal strength. Make your body the same as your mind. Make your emotions the same as your desire. Align your subconscious mind to your awake. It's say align your subconscious mind to your awake conscious mind, aligning every single cell to the desire in your heart. This is how you broadcast to attract a woman. See yourself in the life with her the way it naturally would be if you were together. Imagine what you would need to look like, dress like, talk like, be like if this were in fact true. Would you need to lose weight, change the way you talk, get a better job, visualize all these things whether they have actually happened or not? See it as clearly as you can. Feel that feeling and become that. Become the energy signature of the reality you wish or you desire to experience. Oh, sure. Hold on. Yeah, I wonder what I'm doing. I'm cleaning my nose. It's steady running. Okay. Um, in lucid dreaming, we experience a state of awareness during sleep. So your awake mind and the subconscious mind are on the line at the same time. During these times, the awake mind can program the subconscious mind, so it follows that the left brain can program the right brain. Thus, in a lucid dream state, you can imprint yourself with the vision of who you wish to attract, and your whole being will begin to attract her with a greater focus. The same is true of hypnosis. The awake mind and the visions, the awake mind and the sleeping mind are both on the line at the same time. Dress the way you saw yourself in the visions, and your body will begin to realign to a whole you. That's what I'm saying. This is deep. That I'm gonna highlight this whole thing. That right there, we're gonna talk about it next time. I ain't gonna stop and talk. But let me highlight it. That's powerful. That's why I order them business suits though. It's like if I want to be that successful, I'm gonna have to start dressing like it, acting like it, feeling what it feels like to be in a suit and be comfortable with it.
Yep. And that's why a certain individual say, if you want to be perceived a certain way, you got to put yourself in that in that mind,
Absolutely.
that's who you have to become. You have to make yourself become that individual.
Hey, your son said that. Shout out to MMO. Okay. And this is when I was watching his videos. He said before he had it, he was out there trying to get it. And
Hmm.
so he was doing everything that aligned him in that path. That's what's motivational to me. I don't know what everybody else be hearing, but I'm in them details.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
it's the same thing. It's like, hell, how did you get from here to here? It wasn't by sitting and wishing it happened. You taking steps. And you might spend your last on some suits. Because people tend to think that I'm rich. It's not that. I just know that money is a currency. So me spending my last is an investment in what's coming right back to me. So
Hmm.
I don't think scarcity at all. I really overdo it with Jupiter, but nonetheless, it's just like a sense of faking it till you make it.
Uh-huh.
And it always works. I have always been taken care of. When I was working part-time driving a school bus and did not have enough to cover groceries, I have always been covered. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? So it's the mindset.
Yep.
Somebody else will fall apart about somebody. No, I went home every day, paid my bills, and I knew eventually that will be lifted. When the opportunity arose, went on with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
A lot of people don't do that. So yeah, I'm highlighting these. We're gonna touch on it again next time we with y'all. But let me finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Learn meditation. Did I stop right there? Go
Mhm.
where she would go. Okay. Let me go back. Dress the way you saw yourself in the vision, and your body will begin to realign to a whole you, a
Yep.
whole new you. I say. Go where she would go and become that place. In other words, drink in the vibration of this activity taking place in the dream and become more uniform version of yourself.
Mhm.
Learn meditation. It is easy. In meditating, you go into a waking trace or trance. That's supposed to be trance. In this trance state, the waking mind and the sleeping mind are both on the line at the same time. The idea is to use this as a means to realign yourself so that all parts are vibrating more as a uniform whole. You bring all of the various parts of your being together in sync, all magnetized to the vision of you
Mhm.
and her together, the more intensely your whole being will attract her. Ritual is another means to bring the awake mind and the sleeping that brings your body in more alignment with your desire. The movement of your body is a signal, a broadcast, and the way you dress is a signal. Even your diet is a part of your broadcast. The house you live in is a part of your broadcast. Make sure these things are saying the same thing. Your clothes and mind. Man, this
I
is what the
see.
baby. This is the whole word. We
Yes,
we
it
finna
is.
we finna pass the collection plate.
Yep.
Y'all go. This
Yep.
is it. And it just makes you think, clean out your space. I gotta read it, and that's what she was saying. And it's because I have a bad habit of collecting clothes. I'm a shopper, okay?
Me too.
Need to be addicted to Shoppers Anonymous.
Yep.
Um, I have a bad habit of keeping things, and it's just like even the things that don't look good are flattering on your body. Why are you keeping that? You the next time you put it on, it's still going to be unattractive because you don't like the way it fit. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put it in the back of the closet. I'll be like, damn, I just bought it. And no, 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 no. So this month, I'm cleaning out all the closets in the house. Anything not being used, you holding that energy space
Yeah.
up, and your new stuff
Come
cannot
in.
come in. I don't care if you talking relationships. I don't care if you talking social business. If you are attracting a successful business and your business space right now is cluttered with things from your old business, it's
Mm-hmm.
out of alignment.
Right.
What I pulled out the other day, get my office together, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna read. Was the art of war. for winning in business. I attracted this book to myself, went to the thrift store. I'm looking for the Art of War. I'm like, dang. Not the thrift store. I went to look, my book thrift store. It's online. And I'm gonna go on the shout them out, 8books.com. Now don't be going on there buying all the books now, because I'm gonna read up. I be like, who bought
Right.
all the books?
Right.
Who bought them? So I got this book, and I'm thinking it was the regular version of the Art of War, because everybody's saying you need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it ended up being the Art of War for women in business. This year is my level up. I don't care who ain't coming. I can feel it in my stomach when I'm talking about it. And we had read a book in a astrology class called "Feeling Is a Secret." If you can feel that thing when you're talking about it, and think about it at night before you go to sleep, you can manifest it. Period.
Yeah.
And so clear out some space for it. If you're gonna be that bee this year, clear the space. You cannot be that bee having all your closets jam-packed with outfits. It's not gonna work. It's not.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because that's what I've been doing. I've been clearing out, and and when you called me today and was like, yo, at least it's time. And I'm like, oh man, I was in the zone. I was cleaning out space, because we got to let it go.
You got to let it go. It's not in alignment to where you're going. And it's really connected to scarcity mindset. When you hold on to every little thing, get that stuff out.
Girl, and you know what? It's hard for me. So me doing this, it's like, but I feel a weight lifted off me once it's done. You know what I mean?
And me, even as a friend of Lisa, she gave me a coat. She mailed it to me, right? I could not fit the coat properly because I have big ass, excuse my language, but stuff don't fit me the same. You know what I'm saying? So it won't buckle up. Beautiful coat. Instead of me just giving it to somebody else because my friend gave it to me, I'm holding on for dear life. And it's like, girl,
let it go.
Let it go. It still ain't gonna fit. It ain't gonna fit. It ain't gonna fit tomorrow. You get so went through 2 winters with this coat because your friend gave it to. Let it go. It's okay.
Yep.
And so I'm learning that if you don't clear that space, this man said right here, he said, you having it all in sync, it's all magnetized to the vision of you and her together. And this go for everything. He talking about attracting a woman. This is for business, friendships. All my friends right now have supported me on my journey to valuing self. Lisa's a Taurus, baby. Taurus is the value, okay? The luxurious things. And so being connected to her, she's shown me how to be more caring towards my home. She does a lot of home projects. And so you have to magnetize that thing to you. And I manifested this years ago when I said I want a circle that's full of reciprocity. Just like I'm pouring, I need that person to be pouring too. So this man is preaching right here, y'all. And he went into the ritual. Ritual is another means to bring the awake mind and the sleeping mind and the sleeping that brings your body in more alignment with your desire. The movement of your body is a signal. It's a broadcast. The way you dress is a signal. Even your diet is a part of the broadcast. The house you live in is a part of the broadcast. Make sure these things are saying the same thing your clothes and mind are saying. What if you broadcast to one woman is the same thing that you are broadcasting to all women? If Juanita is the lady you desire, you cannot broadcast joy and charisma to Juanita, but then in the same day broadcast insecurity and sadness to Jane, Beverly, and Mary. You must broadcast the same to all 4 women. If Juanita is to receive this, now otherwise Juanita will feel you are sending out signals of insecurity, and your broadcast is shaped over a period of time. It is the same to all women. Be consistent and uniform in your broadcast. You will find that Juanita will be attracted to your vicinity and into your presence. All you have to do then is go up and say hi. All you gotta do then is manifest that thing. This thing, no, honey, confirmed. Cause I've been telling my private group, it's our time. I don't care what you're talking about. It's our time. And either you gonna get it through me saying it so much, or when it's time, you gonna see. I'm feeling this in my bones. It's not optional for me. All that old energy between the last 3 years, I have been releasing relationships that
Mm-hmm.
I held a value to because of the length of those relationships.
Uh-huh.
Not that the value was there. It was, oh, I've been this for this many years. This, scratch that.
Yeah.
That's scarcity mindset. And so, the room I've made, my energy feels lighter. I'm not dealing with 19, 20 people from when I was 14 and did not know the direction I was heading in my own life. Okay.
Uh-huh.
The mindset wasn't in alignment. And so I've shed a whole bunch, but I've gained so much more. Had I got stuck, I would have never met Lisa or any other of the ladies. And I say Karen Nilsson, uh, the Abundant Sister. I'm trying not to say people real nice, but it's kind of hard because I call people that real nice. But just out of people in my private circle, the people that get texts from me in the morning, it's very few. I even transferred my phone and then transferred the contacts. If you went in them DMs, it was no need to transfer all those old contacts. For what? For what?
Mm-hmm.
And we do this out of habit. No, let that go manifest. And I'm saying this to everybody, out male, female, manifest what it is that you want and do it today.
That's right.
Clear out your house, clear out your energy. I went through every file. Get your shit in order. This is the time.
Yeah. It's the
And
time. It's the year.
I've been trying to wake up early my whole life. I started working graveyard shift and night shift in high school. And so it was very hard for me to get up early. Since I've been getting up early, I feel better. I'm going to bed at 9. I'm finna lay it on down. I'm good and tired at 9. Baby. And when I stay up past that, because last week we were studying all week and we were up on the line to like 11, I felt out of alignment.
Yeah.
It threw me off. I was waking up late every day for work because I was not laying down getting my rest on time. That's very important.
Yeah.
And for a Gemini, and I'm saying it, any Gemini heavy placements, our minds are always going. So if you're not getting proper rest over time, that's going to break your mind down.
Yep.
I think Alzheimer's, this is my personal opinion, comes from overstimulating your brain and not getting enough rest. I say all that to say, this book always get me going, y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all have to get it. Y'all have to read it. All you gotta do is really listen to us. We're reading it for you. So
This book always get me going.
you just gotta tune in. That's
right.
all. Just tune in.
So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Next week is our last chapter, and hate to say it, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be over. We seem like we've been reading for 15 years. Well, not our last chapter. We got 2 more, right?
Yeah. Because the last one is pretty much a case study. So
okay.
That'd be nice.
Okay. So next week will be chapter 19. We appreciate everybody that's steady tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Hit us up during the week when you don't see us on social media. Let us know that you are listening. Shout out to everybody that has been around from chapter 1. And we're going to get out of here. Lisa, you want to plug before you go?
Definitely. I'm on Instagram as Lisa Free Mac or Apples Forever Scents. If you are interested in candles, I do make them to order. I'm a creator, so I take my time with them, and I do what I need to do for the individual that's going to receive my candle. So
Mhm.
definitely send me a DM, and let's connect.
Right. All right. And y'all know the only social media pages that I am no longer on was Facebook. That changed this week. When you revamping your business, you unfortunately got to get on Facebook. So I'm back on there under Pitts Consulting Group. Go help me get a little community going over there. I don't have nobody there yet. So Pitts Consulting Group, look out for Pitts Consulting Group coming up this year. We making big waves. And I want to share the journey with y'all. I'm gonna be doing more YouTube videos from a point of view behind the scenes. And Lisa, I got a surprise for you. I'm not gonna announce it on here that me and Jennifer I forgot to tell you the other day, but when we end the live, I'm gonna tell you it's so we got so much stuff coming. This is what connecting to people and being open to new relationships will bring you.
Mm-hmm.
Abundance of what you need. So stay tuned, y'all. We're gonna go on and get out of here. Peace and power.
Peace.
And we out.
Woo.